In this video, I want to talk about what can actually be paid to surrogates. So in Canada, the law is quite clear. Surrogates cannot be paid for being surrogates, but they can absolutely be paid back because they do reach into their own pocket and pay for things, and then they would be subsidizing the pregnancy. So reimbursing a surrogate is absolutely fine. The big question on the minds of surrogates and intended parents, though, is what's allowed? What reimbursements are legal versus not? Some intended parents have said to me over the years, we want to make sure she's not out of pocket, but we obviously don't want to break the law. How does this work? So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the law and how this works practically. So the Assisted Human Reproduction Act, that's the main law in Canada that governs surrogacy and basically says surrogacy is allowed, just don't pay. There's reimbursement regulation. So there's a special addition to the law that talks all about reimbursements, and it says the following things can be reimbursed: maternity clothes, disability insurance, prenatal vitamins, and so forth. Groceries to the extent they're related to the pregnancy, if medical notes are needed, lost income if she's missing work to attend appointments with the midwife, paying for a doula. So all kinds of things are listed in there. And that's great because it gives us clarity. Those things are listed. And of course, the surrogate needs to have a receipt and also to complete some other paperwork as well to really prove this was a cost that was incurred in relation to the pregnancy. The challenge, though, can come up, which is what if the item is not in the list? The surrogate is paying for something and it's not in the regulations. Is that okay? Is it not okay? And of course, the answer is it depends. A good rule of thumb that a lot of lawyers use is the but-for test. So we ask, but for the pregnancy, but for her being a surrogate, would she have actually incurred this cost? Is this something she would be buying anyways, or it's just because of the pregnancy? So that is a guiding principle that many of us will use if the law just doesn't address a particular item. It's a very helpful question to ask to help identify, is this actually legitimate or not? And of course, no matter what it is, she would need to have the receipt and create a declaration, some additional paperwork. As well, contracts are really helpful in this way because part of the surrogacy contract is the negotiation of what reimbursements are going to be covered. So there is transparency before the surrogate undergoes an embryo transfer, before she becomes pregnant. There's clarity in a surrogacy contract, literally listing out these are the different items that we anticipate will come up, and this is the amount that we will reimburse. So everybody is on the same page, quite literally, about what the mutual expectations are and being able to plan ahead. And this is where it's quite useful when surrogates have been pregnant before, because they will generally have a better idea of what they're signing up for. They may not have attended at a fertility clinic and gone through the IVF process, so some things will be different, but at least they are able to draw on past experience to help inform their request about what they think they might need. And a contract spells out what might be needed. A surrogate may never go on bed rest, but we plan for the possibility and put that in the contract of how that will work and that she would be reimbursed for income and what's the formula to figure out what her lost income is and all of that. So the takeaway is, can surrogates be paid back for out-of-pocket expenses? Absolutely. What does the law tell us? It tells us a bunch of items that are definitely allowed and that receipts and declarations need to be signed, receipts need to be kept. And if it's not listed in the law, it can be okay, but best to speak with a lawyer to confirm, because the penalties for breaking the law are quite high and can even involve jail. Thankfully, at the date of filming this video, I'm not aware of any intended parents ever having been charged or imprisoned because most people are just trying to follow the law and build their family and do the right thing as best as they can with the guidance that we do have in the law. So I hope you learned something new from this video, and I will see you in the next one.